Hey everybody, welcome back here. My name is Marie. If you have never been here before, this is a place to heal. I am a naturopath, an herbalist, a detoxification specialist, and a massage therapist. If you want to find any of my creations, they can be found at aplacetoheal.store. All right, so let's get into this. This week, I want to talk to you guys about fenbendazole and all these other crazy medications that you guys are taking for parasites. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you that are going to just love me for this video, and I know there's going to be a lot of you that are going to hate me. I'm going to save you the comments underneath this video of, but Marie, I did it and it worked for me. I did it for an entire year and it was great, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's great. This video is not for you. This video is for the other part of the masses who have never tried it or don't know anything about these. So if you don't know, in my background, I've had a lot of parasite issues. I had worms taken out of my lungs, and my liver was just congested with liver flukes to the point where I just couldn't even keep food down. I was just so sick, and the amount of tapeworms, and I come from a third world country. I never detoxified. I came over here. I just continued on. And, my first clue should have been that when I was about 8, I think I had just arrived here in the United States. I was actually taken to a parasite, I guess back then, it was like he was the one that knew about parasites, where they actually had to burn my leg to try to kill the parasite that was coming up my leg, because they didn't want it getting to my heart. That should have been my first clue, but no, I kept right on going. So I want to explain to you why I do not buy into these, because every time I post stuff about parasites on TikTok, or not usually YouTube, but on TikTok, YouTubers are a little bit more educated, I believe, because they spend their time listening to these videos. Their attention span's a little bit longer for some reason. It's like when you get into TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, everybody, it's just their attention span is very quick. They don't want to listen. It's like, move on. My opinion is what counts, not anybody else's, and they just don't want to learn. So I don't notice it so much on this platform, but I do notice it on those platforms, that whenever I post about parasites, somebody will instantly, right underneath the video or right underneath the post or whatever, they will sit there and go, well, just go get the paste, go get fenbendazole, go get ivermectin, go get, okay, you guys need to stop this. And I'm going to tell you why. Any way that you look at these medications, they are prescription medication. Yes, once upon a time, they might have originated from something natural, but that is no longer the case. Okay, these are lab-created synthetic prescription medications. And for those that are unaware, you can actually get any medication without a prescription. Okay, any, and I'm talking any, antibiotics, anything. Should you do it? No. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay? These medications are toxic. There is a reason why they are not stopping you from buying this. They go right ahead. Go out there. Go buy it. Go load yourself up with ivermectin and fenbendazole and go right ahead. Okay? That should be your first clue, that they are not stopping you and they are allowing you to do it. Okay, that should be number one. That should be number one red flag. Okay, this is how I'm going to explain it, because it's the simplest way I know how. Okay, a bug is a bug is a bug. Okay, so I don't care if you're dealing with rodents, rats, mice, roaches, anything. Okay, anything of that sort, ants, whatever. Okay, this is your temple. Your house If you are to move into a house and that house is infested with mice, or that house is infested with rats, or the house is infested with roaches, whatever the case may be, okay, you cannot go in there, buy a bunch of Raid, go in there, guns blaring, shoot off all the bombs, because let me tell you what's going to happen. These rodents, these bugs, whatever the case may be, are going to go into your walls, into your attic, underneath the floorboards, wherever they can to hide. They're going to go deeper into the structure. Okay, then it's going to be harder for you to put out junk to kill them, whatever it is that you want to use to kill them, or sweep them out, or clean them out, or get them off your counters, or whatever the case may be, or set out traps. They're going to go hiding. The same can be said about these medications. When you go in and you go in with these big boys, what I call that, the big guns, and you're going to go in there with these prescription medications because you're going to kill everything, what you're going to do is you're going to drive these parasites up further into your muscles, into your brain, into your wherever, into your organs. Okay, and I know there's a lot of parasite experts out there, but believe me, I have been dealing with parasites one-on-one. Like I said, I was sent home to die because of the parasitic infections that I had. I have worked with people like crazy for the last 10 years with parasites. I have found that there are things that are related to parasites that most people aren't even aware of. Okay, so when you do this, you are forcing these things further up into where you don't want them to go, further up into your structure, okay? And then it becomes harder to get out. I know a lot of you that are online and stuff, you've heard about, feminine attracts and male chases, okay? Parasites, feminine. You want to attract. You do not want to chase. If you have a stray cat in your neighborhood, it's a lot easier to buy a cage, put the cage out, put the can in there, get the cat to come to the cage, trap it, and get rid of it, than it is for you to go running around that entire neighborhood chasing that cat day after day, because that cat is going to hide in places that you aren't even aware of. It's going to go deep into the back of houses or up trees or whatever. You're not going to catch it. You are wasting your time. Same thing can be said with parasites. It's a lot easier to attract than it is to chase. Okay, with parasites, if you go on I don't care which social media you go on, and somebody tells you, well, take this for 30 days and this will take care of your parasite. No, that is just money. That's all they're doing, is trying to take your money, because that is not true. Okay. Parasites are a continuous, it's like going to the gym. You have to keep going. It has to be continuous. You have to be deliberate. You have day after day after day after day. Okay. So what I tell my followers to do is look up on your calendar, or you can go on Google. It'll tell you, find the full moon. Okay. Full moon sits in the middle. There are 5 days before the full moon. There are 5 days after the full moon. Those are your 10. The full moon is number 11. Okay. So you're going to mark those numbers, because 5 days before the full moon and 5 days after the full moon is when you produce the most amount of serotonin. When you produce that, that is what the parasites love to eat. So they're going to come down. It's like a feeding trough. You produce it, they come down. This is why you have more problems sleeping during those days around the full moon. You have more teeth grinding. You get up to go to the bathroom more. You might have more itching on your skin. Your skin may become drier. You might get those little feelings in your nose where it feels like somebody's just pulling on that one little hair. Okay, those are those parasites that are in your sinus cavities. You might get more floaters in your eyes. You might get anal itching, vaginal itching. You might have more UTIs or bladder infections or kidney infections or whatever the case may be, anything to do with reproductive. Why? Because these parasites are in those organs and they are just going crazy. Okay. So to believe that you only have to do a parasite cleanse for 30 days and voila, it's done. No. Parasites are constantly coming in. They're coming in your fish. They're coming in your meat. They're coming in washed lettuce. They're coming in unwashed produce. They're coming in any shopping. If you leave your home, if you own a dog, if you own a cat, they are coming in. These little pinworm eggs are everywhere. They're minute. You cannot see them. You pick them up with your hands. They go in through your sinuses. They go into your colon. And once they're there for 2 months, they begin to hatch and they decide where they want to go and where they want to raise havoc. Okay. One parasite cleanse does not kill all. Okay. When you're going to go bear hunting, you don't use a fishing pole. And when you're going to go fishing for trout, you don't use a gun. It depends on what you're going after. Certain parasites get caught and get bought in and attracted a certain way. Other parasites do not. Okay, so people will sit there and go, okay, what can I use for a parasite cleanse? Well, it depends on what you're killing. Okay, are you killing tapeworms, or are you going to be killing liver flukes? Are you going to be killing pinworms? Because they all have different bait and they all get hunted a different way. The only thing that is persistent, the only thing that is the same among all parasites is those 10 days are very significant, because that's when they come down to feed. And number 2, after 10 days, you're wasting your time because the serotonin is most likely not abundant. And number 2, they pretty much caught on to what you're doing. So they're going to go, nah, we're not going there because, 10 of them got killed there. I'm not going there. So it's pretty simple, but you want to attract, you want to be persistent, you want to be consistent. Okay, consistency is the key. I've worked with a lot of my followers, a lot of patients where, because this is another thing I hear is all you got to do is go in and get a test done for fecal matter or a test done for, no, I can't tell you the amount of tests that I had come back. And it was, oh, beautiful, nothing, and not true. I've had people that have been told this, and then I start working with them, and the next thing you know, they pass a 6-inch worm, right? And 1 or 2 things will happen. Either they'll go to the doctor, take the picture, and go, look what I passed. So how is my fecal matter okay? And they'll go, that's not a worm. That's mucus, and you're tearing out your lining. That's not true. The stomach lining, the mucus, the mucosa, lymphatic fluid. Once you start to notice it and like I know, okay, lymphatic fluid doesn't look anything like worm carcasses, and worm carcasses doesn't look anything like lymphatic, and lymphatic doesn't look anything like mucosa. Okay, they all look different. So they cannot sit there and tell me that. Or number 2, what they do is they're like, oh my gosh, we need to send you to a specialist because that's a contagious disease. Like, they know. They see this all the time, and it's becoming more and more adamant, and people are coming forward. You cannot tell me that as a surgeon you're not opening up bodies and finding this. You can't, because I've personally had friends who are transcribers, and they have said, we are going to close this patient up because there's nothing we can do because of the infestation. So they know. Okay, so please, number 1, stop taking these hardcore medications that are doing you more harm than good. They are harsh on your liver. They are harsh on your heart. They were meant to kill a river parasite. Okay, that is for a certain, okay, we're hunting a certain parasite, which is a river parasite. And number 2, they are They stress out your liver to the point where they cause the cortisol to go up. High cortisols will cause strokes. I've had patients and clients who have gone blind or have lost their vision for 3 or 4 days from using these medications. So please stop using these, okay? This is not a once and done kind of thing. This is a lifetime, gotta keep going at them. Okay, so for those 10 days, I don't care how you hunt the parasites. Just hunt. Just do it. You can take neem, Neem, neem for those 10 days, 2 pills before going to bed. You can take clove pills, okay, 2 clove pills before going to bed. You can do 2 tablespoons of coconut butter if you're trying to kill, liver flukes. You can do coffee enemas for those 10 days if you're trying to get the liver flukes out and clean your liver. There is so many things that you can do, and you want to do it in those 10 days, and then you take a rest for the other days. Now, when it comes back around to those 10 days, hit them again, and keep hitting them and keep hitting them. And you got to keep doing this. This is a lifetime thing. This is not, like I said, once and done. Okay. So children are not exempt. Children are I've seen children now who are just as bad as anything else. So this has gone longer than I wanted to. Before I leave, I just want to say 2 things. Ladies, if you have a ton of UTIs, if you suffer a lot from UTIs, bladder infection, vaginal infections, bacterial infections, anything like that, anything to do with reproductive, please look into pinworms and how to treat them. And they have to be treated regularly. Okay, this ivermectin, fenbendazole, blah, blah, blah is not going to help. Number 2, men, if you have prostate issues, urinary tract issues, where the stream starts and stops, or your kidneys, bladder, whatever, please look into pinworm medication and how to treat them. That's where they love to go, and that's where they love to hide. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty simple. I'm sure I've missed a bunch of stuff. One of the things is going to be the cancer, okay? Because there's a lot of people that will sit there and say that parasites are what causes cancer. I agree. Okay. At some point, a parasite will cause so much bacteria where cancer is not a diagnosis. Okay. Cancer is a symptom of what these parasites are causing. It's a lot of bacteria. So what they do is that bacteria will form, it'll get out of control, and a tumor will form to hold that and protect you from getting toxic and it killing you. Okay, so it's going to protect it. So a lot of people will say, yeah, let's use that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, maybe that would be the one instance where I would go in guns blaring. But I have even talked to scientists, I have talked to doctors, and I have even talked to parasite experts that would say that even then they would not touch those medications because they are synthetic. They are prescription. It's just one more poison to put into your body. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to put the fenbendazole and ivermectin theory to rest, okay? Because I'm telling you, I am such a patient person. And I let everybody have their say. It's like, oh, if that's what you want to believe, have at it. I don't care. It's your journey. You live your journey, I live mine. But I've gotten to a point where if I hear one of those 2 medications one more time, I'm just going to lose it. Because I'm like, stop. It's like an over obsessive compulsive disorder. We pick whatever it is, whether that's coconut oil or, goji berries or whatever it is that is huge at the moment. We just focus on that and we hyper focus on that. And that's all we want to use. That's what we want to do. And it's like, stop. Okay. If you focus on something and you think it's good and they're allowing it, go ahead, make it available. red flag. Okay, so there you go. All right. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you next Friday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, always on this channel. I'm always bringing you information. All you've got to do is stay happy for me, and I'm going to try my damnedest to keep you educated and keep you healthy.